¿Qué tal, gente? Te habla SupremeClock aquí desde Seattle y tengo a alguien muy querido desde Lima. En este caso, Stormstormer, posición 2 de Entity. It's a pleasure to meet you, Stormstormer.
Nice to meet you too.
So yeah, we're gonna start with some general questions to know more about you, to know more about entities. How are you feeling on this TI? Are you enjoying to stay here in Seattle?
Yeah, so far it's feeling pretty good. I mean, now we have like this 1 week break where like everybody's like practicing really hard and everything. But in general, yeah, I definitely like enjoy the feeling. The city is nice. TI is always great.
Have you been in the convention center or have you checked or not before?
No, not yet. Our match is going to be on Sunday, so in 2 days from now on. And we are like practicing a lot, playing a lot of scrims, so I didn't have a chance to go there yet. But I heard from some people that it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, you have checked, I mean, some photos, some videos of it. Now let's focus on the team. Which team, apart from yours, would you consider is going to be the next TI champion?
I mean, it's hard to tell. There's a lot of good teams out there right now. I think Team Spirit is looking very strong. I think also after today, Team Liquid is looking very strong, like really solid. I mean, they just 2-0 Talon.
People is thinking right now about Team Spirit and also Liquid because the performance against Talon that is going really well, 2-0 in that match. I'm talking about Entity in that case. I mean, you have already passed the phase groups. Is there anything where you want to have a rematch? Maybe a team that you played before in Western Europe or right now on the phase groups?
For sure. I mean, I would love to have a new match against Spirits because I think like the series against them has been pretty close. Like they still played better and they showed they were the better team. But I think we had a good chance taking a map of them in the group stage. And the other team would probably be Azure because they were the team that we lost our best of 3 against, which means that we're in the lower bracket now. So if I would get one more chance to play these teams, I'm sure we would do so much better.
Let us know more about the lifestyle of a pro player. How have you been preparing, well, you and the whole team, for the playoff, for the group stage? How have you been training or boot camping? Tell us more about it.
So yeah, going on to TI, we were like at least 8 or 9 days in our boot camp in Serbia, preparing a lot, like of course playing a lot of scrims. Everybody played a lot of pops, tried to figure out like this new patch that came out right before after TI, or just before TI. And a part of that, I think what every other team also does, like watch a lot of replays, watch how other teams play, analyze our own mistakes and everything. So I guess you could say pubs, scrims, replays, that basically makes all of it. We just basically spend as much time together as we can.
Yeah, that's so good. So then you can check if there is anything that you got to practice once again, what can you improve and all that stuff. You talk about analyze. In this case, can you tell me more about Evilgeniuses? Because I noticed that you defeated them in a 2-0 match. So any opinion about South American region in general about this TI? How was their performance? What do you think about the region?
So what I like about EG is that they're like a little bit of a, I would say, crazy team. Like they like to go offensive sometimes and just go really deep, and they have no fear in some situations, especially their mid laner, like he just goes in, which can be of course a weakness, but also a strength in certain situations. So that is really something that I like about them. They just play by their feeling and with their heart. And I think over the course also they showed like a lot of strength, like for example in the Berlin Major they made 4th place, right? So I like in general a lot that the SA region is also getting more respect and also more attention to it. But I think already going into this TI, I could feel that they were a little bit off. And we scrimmed them quite a bit as well before going into this tournament. And I could already feel like they're not able to play at their best right now. Of course, they're still in the tournament. They're in the low bracket like us, so we're all in the same steps. But I think this team can do much better than it does right now.
It's a really good point of view that you have for the region. Is there any team that you want to have a match? I mean, you can say Evilgeniuses once again, but or is there any option for you?
I think just EG again. It's always really fun to play against them. Like we really scrim them a lot, and like also like I think we have like pretty good friendship with them now. Like for example, in pub, what many people spam is like after any play they spam good game well played, good game well played. And now in our scrim, it happens all the time. Like no matter if Whisper gets a kill on me or on Gabbi or something, it's a good game well played. Some funny pause on anything like in a scrim. So I think we have a really funny relationship with them, and in general, like it's always fun to play these guys.
Yeah, and you say something interesting about Gabbi. That's something that most of the people is wondering. How was the transition to play with Gabbi? I mean, he came from Southeast Asia, and then he turned to Western Europe. How was the transition, the languages?
For sure, it was like quite exciting. We never had an SCA teammate before, so we didn't know what we were going to get ourselves into. But I think he did it extremely well. From the first scrim on, we could feel like he's got some really strong mechanics and everything. Like his laning stage and everything looked so solid. He also talked a lot, taking over like sometimes the initiative and making calls where to go with the team and everything. So I think also already from the first moment over, everybody was feeling quite comfortable with Gabbi. The language has not been a problem whatsoever. I think his English is really, really good. Just one thing that was sometimes a bit annoying was like that, of course, he is from SEA and he has like a high ping. And when there were like visa issues and everything, it was tough to play like scrims and it could frustrate him sometimes. Of course, makes sense. Because like we would scrim, like for example, going into Rehab Masters, we would scrim like 6-7 days or something like that. And he had to play with 300 ping, and that has a lot of impact on your how you can perform, right? But that has nothing to do with his personality. Of course, he made the best out of everything, and I really admire how he handled things.
Oh, that sounds really good. I mean, that you have too much closure with Gabbi. Most of the people can imagine that he turned from carry to offlane, but he's having a really good performance, and it's amazing that from one moment to another, all of that is happening 2 short months. I mean, he was on the team like 3 months ago, approximately.
We just figured out like that he's practicing offlane really thoroughly. Like he played carry for I don't know how many years now, 5-6 years or something, and then only offlane for 3 months. But of course, also the roles changed quite a bit. Offlane got more and more similar to carry, as in like how farm intensive the lane is and everything. And of course, who knows better how to crush a carry player than yourself when you used to be a carry player. So I think it makes sense that this role switch is like quite a comfortable one as well.
Any last word from the people from South America who's watching you and they remember you, especially from the Lima Mayor?
Yeah, thanks for having you watching us, and I'm so glad that like Dota is such an international sport. I really love that all the regions get so much respect and join. I absolutely love my stay in Lima in March this year. It was such a cool feeling with everything. The fans have been so nice and so humble. Like I really appreciated that. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's always a nice feeling to have fans from all around the world, and I hope we're gonna show you some good Dota in this TI.
It was a pleasure to have you here, Stormstormer, for this short interview. I mean, I really appreciate it. Best wishes for the next matches that are coming. Y esto, gente, ha sido una entrevista con Stormstormer, posición 2 de Entity. No olviden que todo esto es gracias con ESB y con Parimatch. Así que si tú también quieres disfrutar de la experiencia, solo tienes que entrar al link que está en la descripción, registrarte, linkear tu cuenta y ya estarás participando por muchos buenos premios. Yo soy SupremeClock y conmigo será hasta otra entrevista.
Consigue una recompensa fácil de más de 2000 puntos. Autorízate o regístrate en Parimatch y conecta tu cuenta de Steam. Compite en la tabla de clasificación con tus amigos por valiosos premios. Completa misiones, gana puntos, apuestas gratis y giros gratis. Juega Dota y gana con el Parimatch Pass.